All right, welcome back to the man's point of view. I am the space luchador today. Well, my big comeback. Now it's been a while. Been lagging it. Working on technical difficulties, if that even matters. Anyways, I got a video for you and pretty much a lesson of the day. One that I've been asked by a lot of guys that don't get it and are interested, because one is different than the other, right? They understand that now, which is why they ask, help me understand. Well, here we go. Men fail to understand, period, this about women. So let's go ahead and jump in, and then I'll break it down for you, explaining what is the actual problem. It's in the details. I've been saying it all along. Let's go ahead and jump in.
In a heterosexual relationship, what do you think is one thing that men don't really understand about what women want and need?
I think one thing they don't realize is sometimes what they don't necessarily want as much freedom and acceptance as you give them. And what I mean by this is we will say, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. And
Now there it is, right? Now, just like the guy there, right, in the podcast there, he's going to overlook all of that, right, and not understand what she just said. That's where I come into play. Now it comes down to this. What she said right there is the fundamental truth, right? And answer, by the way, to everything. They don't necessarily care, right, about having the freedom, right, that you give them. Which brings me to this, right? A man's true value. There it is. Now, understand that I've been saying it in all my videos, right? What is the value of a man? Well, I'll tell you right now. It's the value you give yourself. Now, how does that work, right? Because you can give yourself any value that you want, but at the end of the day, is it real, right? Well, how do you do that? Well, there it is. Just like she said, right? You got to understand. Understand is the key word, right? That they do not want or like, right, or need the freedom. And I know how that sounds, because no one wants to hear that, right? He herself, right, is telling you every little thing that they will say to basically, right, make you think that it's everything but what she just said, right? Look,
we'll say you should love me regardless. You should love me unconditionally. What they truly want is somebody who is able to respect themselves and know when a behavior is unacceptable.
there it is. How do you know what's unacceptable, right? How do you know when to draw the line? How do you know, right, what is right? Let alone wrong, but what is right?
What they don't want is a doormat.
There it is, right? Like I said, the details. Now, this one goes out to you, one of my friends that asked this question, right? And I was able to explain to him, because throughout my whole explanation, he still didn't get it. He said, help me find a way. And I told him, all right. And it finally hit it, right? Maybe it's too much information, right? You can't take it in as quick. Well, how about trying this, right? Just trying not to botch it, right? Forget about the answer. Just don't be the floor mat. You see how simple it is, right? Because if you do not become the floor mat, right, which is basically the nice guy, right? Because what is a floor mat? Well, it's a guy that everybody steps on, right? Including the woman. So there it is. Maybe you don't know how to do every little thing and every other thing, right? All the little other details. Just don't be the floor man. You see, there it is, right? And we could
They
continue.
really don't want it. And I work with men all the time. And all the men that I've worked with that have been cheated on or been left have never been the bad guy.
There it is again. What is she saying? Right? She said two things that mean the same thing. Right? One, don't be the floor mat. Right? That's the nice guy. The bad guys don't get cheated on. Right? What are they? They are not the nice guy. You see, it's not about being the bad guy. It's about not being the nice guy. Right? So we'll end with this for this short comeback video. Right? How do you not be what some guys have told me? Well, that's who I am. I always get that. How? I've been told to be myself. Yes, you've been told to be yourself, but not be a damn floor mat. Right? They hate that. Right? Understand that. It conflicts with the part where you are supposed to be the man. Understand that? And yet they still don't get it. I'm not saying be the bad guy or be an ass wipe or treat them wrong or right for that matter. Just don't be the nice guy. Understand that, right? Yes, you want to give everything you got. Yes, you want to buy them all this shit. Yes, you want to hold the door open. Yes, you want to tell them that they're the most beautiful thing that's ever happened to you. They don't want to hear it, son. That's the problem, right? You can think it, just don't say it, right? Anyways, you can either listen to it, right? Ponder it, try to understand it. You can continue on your ways. At the end of the day, if you want to be successful, right, in these heterosexual, right, relationships, hell, I say, if you want to be successful in a relationship, period, with a woman, you must understand the fundamental truth about the very least what they do not want. Forget about what they want. We'll get to that later. What they do not want, tolerate, or like, period. And that goes back, right, full circle. A man's true value. Now I could tell you all the secrets right now and tell you exactly what is the value of a man, but you're not going to like it. At least most of the guys, right, that are having trouble, you're not going to like it. Because it goes against everything you've been taught to believe, right? It goes against the big belief that men are supposed to be tough, right? And powerful and money and all this other that don't mean a damn thing in the world, right, of a relationship with a woman. Now, rest of this stuff, yes, it matters if you're going up against another man, right? But that's not what we're doing, are we? We're here for the women. So there you go. I will see you on the next Man's Point of View / Space Luchador podcast. I am the Space Luchador, and well, if you like this type of content, right, I know it's a little raw, little what it is, right? I give you the straight up truth, the answers for you to ponder and think, right? And you get to the true answers that you can actually use. So if you want to help me help you, obviously share, like, subscribe. That helps me a lot, right? We are finally on to bigger and better things, right? So, yep, I'm gonna start answering like I haven't before, right? I'm gonna start answering in better, I guess, better ways of explaining things, just the little things, not big, long 45-minute videos of me rambling on basically about the same thing, right? We'll go down to the straight up little answer. So recap, right? Like I said, don't be the floor mat, right? Don't be the nice guy. It means the same thing. I know how it's confusing, but it basically means the same thing. And what she said fundamentally, right, is what they don't like. She also said, right, what they want at the same time. But because of sake of time, right, and, well, me going off on a rant, but basically it started off, remember that as a keyword for later videos. They don't necessarily want the freedom that you give them, okay? Or, in other words, right, they do not want everything that they say or ask for. You see how it's the same thing, just different words, but it's saying the same thing, right? On one hand, and see, there I am, overextending the video, going off. But because, like I said, right, this is important. It's the answer. It's the details, right? But anyways, there you go. I hope you understood, right? How simple it really is. I guess you just have to, it really does take brain power, right? Hate to say it. And a little bit of work. Mathematical, right? There it is. So, we'll end with that for today, right? Just a simple. They don't necessarily want the freedom that you give them, which means they don't necessarily want everything they're asking for. You see, it's like philosophical. However, that's where the answers is. So there you go. I'll see you this time for reals on the next man's point of view.